day when the room learned my name. Nothing asked me to explain. The air moved slower than thought. Time forgot what it sought. I did not arrive, I remain. No part of me tried to be safe. Your silence sat beside mine. Neither of us crossed the line. I stood where leaving was easy, and chose the weight of staying uneasy. No promise entered the space, only breath holding its place. The floor remembered my feet, cold, honest, incomplete. I didn't speak to be heard, I spoke because sound occurred. Your absence leaned on the wall, like it was never a fall. I was not waiting for change, stillness had already arranged. Nothing pulled me ahead, nothing echoed what you said. The light touched but didn't stay, it knew better than to persuade. I kept my name unraised, unclaimed, unphrased. What stayed was not fear, just presence quietly clear. I did not soften to fit, I softened because I existed. No ending came to confirm, no beginning tried to form. I stood inside what was true, without asking it to move. The walls listened without reply, they let the moment lie. My hands learned how to rest, without reaching for less. The hour passed without sound, no signal tried to be found. I breathed in unfinished air, nothing asked me to care. The room stayed wide and plain, refusing comfort, refusing pain. I did not follow a trace, I stayed inside the space. No voice asked me to choose, nothing waited to lose. The ground stayed firm and slow, it did not need me to go. I felt the weight of now, without asking when or how. No future opened its door, no past asked me for more. The silence kept its shape, it did not try to escape. I stood without being seen, still full, still clean. No need to prove or defend, nothing required an end. The moment stayed unclaimed, unmeasured, unnamed. I did not move to belong, I stayed because staying was strong. No arrival marked the floor, nothing knocked anymore. Still here, without a touch, still whole, still enough. Untouched by need or demand, I stayed empty-handed. Nothing changed, nothing bent. This is where the moment went. Hey. The room did not answer when I spoke. It held the sound and stayed closed. I waited for a shift that never came. The walls remained the same, no echo returned my name. The space refused response. I stood inside the pause, nothing leaned toward me. The air stayed free. The room did not answer my breath, it accepted my death. No signal rose from the floor, nothing opened a door. The light entered without intent, it touched then went. The room did not answer my time, it did not align. I spoke without direction, sound lost connection. The ceiling stayed high, it did not reply. The room did not answer my stillness, it allowed witness. No surface changed its tone. I was not alone. The silence held position without decision. The room did not answer my weight, it did not hesitate. Nothing arrived late, nothing checked the gate. The air moved on as if I were gone. The room did not answer again, it did not bend. No question found a form, no warmth performed. The space stayed wide, no truth applied. The room did not answer my eyes, it ignored the rise. I look without request. The moment rested, the floor remained cool, indifferent and full. The room did not answer my stance, it did not advance. Nothing corrected the scene, nothing intervened. I stood inside, delay, the hours stayed. The room did not answer at all, it did not call. No voice met mine, no end designed. The space stayed clear, I remained here. The room did not answer and did not need to. It stayed true. Nothing followed my sound. The moment stayed around. I spoke and let it go. The room already knew. The room did not answer, it simply stayed rude. It did not ask for more. The cold stayed honest under skin. No warning came from within. Barefoot on quiet ground, I stood. The surface held what it could. No softness tried to appear. The moment stayed clear. Barefoot on quiet ground, no mark. My weight did not spark. Nothing remembered me. The floor stayed free. Barefoot on quiet ground, I paused. No rule applied to cause. The space did not lean, it stayed clean. Barefoot on quiet ground, no sound. Silence settled around. The air did not press, it let me rest. Barefoot on quiet ground, time passed without a future or past. No edge tried to form, the ground stayed warm. Barefoot on quiet ground, I stayed, not brave, not afraid. No meaning pulled me, nothing asked to be. Barefoot on quiet ground, the room did not assume a moon. It waited without need, it let me be. Barefoot on quiet ground, no trace. I did not leave a place. Nothing shifted shape, no moment tried escape. Barefoot on quiet ground, I breathed. The air did not leave. No tension grew inside. The silence did not hide. Barefoot on quiet ground again. The floor did not bend, it carried weight without sound. Barefoot on quiet ground. Barefoot on quiet ground, no pull. The moment stayed full. Nothing asked me to go, nothing needed to know. Barefoot on quiet ground, I learned stillness did not burn. It cooled the shape of now without asking how. Barefoot on quiet ground, I stood as long as standing could. No arrival marked the scene, nothing came between. Barefoot on quiet ground, no end. The floor did not pretend it stayed until it stayed. And I did the same. Barefoot on quiet ground, still nothing moved the will. The silence held its tone. I was not alone. Barefoot on quiet ground, I remain. No need to explain. The ground stayed quiet, and so did I. I stayed soft when moving felt too loud. The room allowed my way without asking me out. I didn't leave, I stayed soft inside unfinished air. Nothing demanded motion, nothing asked me to care. I didn't leave, I stayed soft where silence held its line. No voice tried to shape what was already mine. I didn't leave, I stayed soft as time passed without aim. No pressure formed around my name. I didn't leave, I stayed soft when the door stayed wide. Not open with promise, not closed with pride. I didn't leave, I stayed soft. The floor remained still. It did not test my will. I didn't leave, I stayed soft, and no signal called me through. The space did not insist on what to do. I didn't leave, I stayed soft when waiting lost its role. Nothing needed fixing, nothing needed hold. I didn't leave, I stayed soft inside a gentle pause. No reason followed, no cause. I didn't leave, I stayed soft. The walls did not lean, they let the moment remain unseen. I didn't leave, I stayed soft when sound dissolved, nothing around me evolved. I didn't leave, I stayed soft without defending why. The silence did not reply. I didn't leave, I stayed soft as breath slowed down. The room did not frown. I didn't leave, I stayed soft where comfort did not bloom. Stillness held the room. I didn't leave, I stayed soft, no ending pressed. The moment did not request. I didn't leave, I stayed soft when the hours stayed thin. Nothing pulled me in. I didn't leave, I stayed soft. No future raised a hand, nothing tried to stand. I didn't leave, I stayed soft inside this calm delay. Nothing asked me to stay. I didn't leave, I stayed soft, and nothing broke the space, accepted what I chose. I didn't leave, I stayed soft until softness was enough. No proof, no push. I didn't leave, I stayed soft, still here, still slow. Nothing else to know. I didn't leave, I stayed soft and stayed. What remains without noise is not empty. It holds shape quietly. What remains without noise does not explain. It exists as is. What remains without noise is not calm. It simply does not move. What remains without noise stays present without asking to be felt. What remains without noise keeps no record. It forgets nothing. What remains without noise does not wait. Time passes through it. What remains without noise is not hidden. It stands unannounced. What remains without noise carries weight without pressure or force. What remains without noise does not invite. It allows distance. What remains without noise refuses climax. Nothing rises, nothing falls. What remains without noise is not slow. It is unmeasured. What remains without noise does not belong. It stays unclaimed. What remains without noise accepts light without holding shadow. What remains without noise is not fragile. It does not break. What remains without noise needs no frame. It holds itself. What remains without noise does not perform. It does not arrive. What remains without noise outlasts signal, outlasts meaning. What remains without noise stays after everything moves on. What remains without noise is not memory. It is here. What remains without noise does not respond. It listens without reply. What remains without noise is not absence. It is undisturbed. What remains without noise keeps no edge, and nothing cuts through it. What remains without noise does not fade. It remains unlit. What remains without noise needs no voice. It speaks by staying. What remains without noise does not end. It continues quiet. What remains without noise does not change. It does not need to. What remains without noise is enough without proof or sound. What remains without noise stays and stays. Nothing asked me to change, I stayed aligned. The room kept its measure, so did mine. No signal bent the hour, it held. My breath matched the floor, unswelled. Nothing asked me to change or explain. The air let me pass untrained. No mirror corrected my shape. Time carried itself in place. Nothing asked me to change. When close, distance stayed open. Prose, no hand reached forward to lead. The moment refused a need. Nothing asked me to change inside. Silence kept order wide. No future rehearsed a role. The present stayed whole, whole. Nothing asked me to change at rest. The floor took my weight unstressed. No cause sharpened my will. The room remained still. Nothing asked me to change again. Repetition stayed plain. No heat argued for fire. Desire learned to tire. Nothing asked me to change or move. The past stayed optional, true. No edge demanded a turn. The hour declined to learn. Nothing asked me to change by sound. The quiet held ground. No promise adjusted my pace. Time kept a neutral face. Nothing asked me to change at all. The walls did not call. No proof assembled a case. I stood without a base. Nothing asked me to change and stay. The process continued unweighed. No ending certified the frame. I remade myself sane. Nothing asked me to stay. I remained. The room did not close. It stayed plain. Nothing asked me to stay. After time, the air held position. So did mine. Nothing asked me to stay. When I paused, no reason followed, no cause. Nothing asked me to stay. Inside light, the walls kept distance, polite. Nothing asked me to stay or leave. Space did not believe. Nothing asked me to stay again. Repetition stayed thin. Nothing asked me to stay by sound. Silence held ground. Nothing asked me to stay or bend. No pressure tried to end. Nothing asked me to stay in place. Time kept a neutral face. Nothing asked me to stay when near. Distance did not disappear. Nothing asked me to stay or choose. Nothing waited to lose. Nothing asked me to stay at the edge. No signal formed a pledge. Nothing asked me to stay by name. The room remained same. Nothing asked me to stay through breath. The moment ignored depth. Nothing asked me to stay or speak. Sound stayed weak. Nothing asked me to stay or try. The silence did not reply. Nothing asked me to stay at all. The walls did not call. Nothing asked me to stay when still the hour declined to fill. Nothing asked me to stay or go. The space did not know. Nothing asked me to stay in time. Nothing aligned a sign. Nothing asked me to stay or end. The moment did not bend. Nothing asked me to stay again. I remained then. Nothing asked me to stay, and so I stayed slow. Nothing asked me to stay here. The room stayed clear. Nothing asked me to stay still, and nothing will. This was never a performance I did not prepare. Nothing waited to be seen. This was never a performance, no stage. The room did not arrange. This was never a performance I did not arrive. No light followed my side. This was never a performance, no cue. Time did not count me through. This was never a performance I stood as anyone could. This was never a performance, no line asked to be mine. This was never a performance, no role shaped my control. This was never a performance, the floor did not ask for more. This was never a performance, no sound rose to surround. This was never a performance, I did not bow, the moment did not allow. This was never a performance, no gaze held my face. This was never a performance, no applause interrupted the pause. This was never a performance, no tension pulled my attention. This was never a performance, the air stayed open fair. This was never a performance, no edge asked to be led. This was never a performance, I did not act, the space stayed intact. This was never a performance, no script, the hours skipped. This was never a performance, no rise met my eyes. This was never a performance, no fall answered the call. This was never a performance, no proof tried to move. This was never a performance, no frame held my name. This was never a performance, the room refused costume. This was never a performance, no mark cut the dark. This was never a performance, no claim asked me to remain. This was never a performance, I stayed unposed, unweighed. This was never a performance, no end sought to bend. This was never a performance, no need this me to lead. This was never a performance, no voice requested choice. This was never a performance, no show, only so only. This was never a performance, it stayed this way. This was never a performance, still, and never will. Mm-hmm.